Good morning. Good morning. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that, y'all. I had some technical difficulties um, this morning, but welcome to another episode of Market Mornings. I'm your host, Jay Reed. We have another jam-packed show. A lot of information to get into. And our goal is to try to keep these under 15 minutes. So we'll see how we do today, this morning. So we just want to get right into it. But first of all, this stream is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. The themes within, and the information within is not to be considered financial advice. Please make sure you consult with a financial advisor. I'll also mention some affiliate links. You can check them out in the description down below or in the bio in my link tree. But those are just a good way of supporting the stream. I appreciate everything you guys do. Hitting the like button, hitting the notification button, sharing the live, subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it. Let's go here. All right. So we got the S&P 500 is down 0.4%. NASDAQ, it was down, but it looks like it's back up 0.1%. The B500 is down 0.3%. 10 years flat right now. It rose a little bit yesterday to 4.48, but it's flat right now. And crude oil continues to slide almost 1%. We have Bitcoin right now. I don't have that on the screen, but Bitcoin's at 118. So it's rebounding a little bit. I think it got down to as much as 116 yesterday. Yeah, about 115 right now is the support. The 5 things you need to know this morning. We got ASML shares sunk about 7.9%. ASML hedge fund hedge growth outlook for 2026 as trade war weighs on sales. So the trade war is heating up. And the ASML Holdings chief executive Christopher Folk or whatever walked back the company's sales forecast for the year. Citing uncertainty from ongoing trade disputes. So today's a big day for earnings. We got Bank of America. I don't know if they've already reported. Let me see. We got Bank of America. Have they reported yet? They have not reported yet. We have Morgan Stanley, MS. They have not reported yet as well. And got Goldman Sachs, GS. I believe they're after hours. No, they're pre-market, but they have not reported yet as of this stream. So, a big day that's going to determine a lot for ASML. We continue to see increasing uncertainty driven by macroeconomics and geopolitical developments. Folks said on ASML's quarterly results Wednesday. Therefore, while we still prepare for growth in 2026, we cannot confirm at this stage. So ASML, if you look at their ticker right now, they're down, down a lot. They closed at 822 yesterday. Right now the stock is trading at 766. So that's going to be, big to see how that plays out for them. Next we have front runner to replace Jerome Powell is Kevin Hassett. Hassett grabs pole position in race to be Trump's Fed chair. He's reportedly, like I said, the front runner to replace him. He's got big shoes to fill and big policy implications on the horizon. We all thought it was going to be Bassett, but Kevin Hassett and Kevin Warsh are the top contenders to replace Jerome Powell as I guess he likes the job, likes Bassett where he is. Like I said, those two guys are the top ones to replace Powell when his term is up next year. I think it's a whole year from now. So we got a lot of mudslinging to go on for the next year. Hassett has echoed Donald Trump's criticism of the Fed, saying it deserves the president's barbs for its handling of interest rates. Trump has said he will pick a Fed chair who wants to cut interest rates, which has left investors worried about the central bank's autonomy in the future. So we don't want to, the Fed is, like I said, you know, despite whatever you say about the Fed and all the conspiracy theories around it, I think there's a good reason why the Fed is independent. If you look at other countries that are, I guess, somewhat dictatorships, and I'm frozen on some platforms. I mean, this is getting outrageous. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about this. Just don't know why I'm freezing. Not all platforms, but on some, for whatever reason, we're freezing here. But anyways, we'll keep going. But like I said, some countries, they're not, they don't have the same independence as the Fed. So, so a lot of people don't trust them, for what they're going to do in the market. Like they'll manipulate the currency. They'll do this, do that. And it doesn't, it just doesn't create stability. So that's the reason why the U.S. bond is probably the safest investment in the world. Yeah, I'm off of one network, but whatever. Probably the safest investment in the world. But and that's because of the Fed's independence. So we'll continue to watch that. I won't spend too much time on that. UK inflation is let me see. Sorry about that. UK inflation is expected to jumps as labor tax hikes take toll. UK inflation surprised. Britain posts its highest CPI print since January 2024, driven by rising food prices and growing criticism over Labor's tax policies. Labor is the party there. So consumer price inflation peaking up to 3.6% in June. Food prices rose 4.4%. Like I said, that was the highest since February 2024. Retailers blaming recent increases in payroll taxes and the minimum wage. So, minimum wage goes up. People start charging more because you got more disposable income. The labor government's tax rises prompt criticism with the chancellor and acknowledging that working people are still struggling on the cost of living. So they did stuff to try to help working people, but it seems like it set them back. So maybe that gives some credibility to the arguments that you see here, where people saying, we don't need to raise the minimum wage, which I don't have an opinion one way or the other. Taxes on pharmaceuticals. Trump's trade bombshell continues. Pharma could be coming in by the end of the month. Could be more taxes on pharmaceuticals by the end of the month. And Trump says drug tariffs probable by August 1st, downplays more deals. So I don't know if we're going to get those 90 promised deals. Said he would likely impose, because he's saying he would likely impose tariffs on pharmaceuticals, like you said, by August 1st, and on semiconductors soon as well. Trump told reporters that pharmaceutical tariffs would start low and increase to a very high tariff after giving companies a year to build. So he wants drugs made over here. Trump predicted that he could strike trade deals with countries before implementing his reciprocal tariffs on August 1st, mentioning an agreement. So it's like, it's kind of, like I said, it's kind of a weird situation. It's like, we want you to move your drug making over here, but if you strike a deal with us, we'll, I don't know. It's weird. It's like a dystopian tactic here. So we'll continue to monitor that. Silver extending its rally beyond $40 an ounce. Citigroup backed silver to soar, but warns gold peak. I didn't say anything, Siri. But warns that gold's peak is near. So silver is a more affordable commodity. So and Citi analysts see silver extending past its rally of $40 an ounce, and that's driven by tightened supplies and rising investment demands. Like I said, they're bearish on gold though, forecasting a dip below 3,000 an ounce. So if you're looking to move money from gold, and you don't trust cryptocurrency or anything like that, silver might be a good safe haven. That, like I said, they say the recent rally is not just a catch-up trade to gold, but an actual reflection of strong silver fundamentals. Silver will also advance on the back of Fed cuts, according to Citi analysts who say we may have seen gold price highs. So we like I said, they're just reiterating what I just said. And that makes sense. And it has these some of my plays last week, a lot of commodities companies. The only one that is up is the silver. I think this is an ETF, Global X Silver Miners. So silver goes into a lot of chip making and things like that. So as long as as much as that demand increases, you'll probably see the same parallel increase with silver. So that's the 5 things you need to know this morning. And let's go to the charts now and check out some of the movers for this morning. We got Renault. Let me see. We got Renault. Where is it at? Can't find the US one on that, but it's down 16% after slashing profitability outlook. And then you got Stellantis. Stellantis is also down 4.3%, and that is off of I guess these are tariff. These are car companies that have a lot of headwinds. They've just been getting beat up. Same thing with Volkswagen. Let's see, Volkswagen. We'll just look at ML. But anyways, that I can't find it on here. But that's down 1.7%. Then we got Bright House Financial. BHF, I think they reported today. Did they report today? No, they didn't. But they're up 9% on acquisition talks. So Bright House Financial is in talks with Aquarian Holdings for a possible acquisition, with a deal expected soon. Shares rose 10% off of that news. Got Global Payments. GPN is the ticker. And they're up 6.5%. Elliott Management has reported a stake. Elliott Management has acquired a major stake in Global Payments after its $24.25 billion World Play deal. Shares dropped 17%, but later rose 6%. So this is after a huge drop, pretty much over the last since the 10th. So over the last week, it's regained those losses overnight. Um, and then you got United Airlines. There's another big mover this morning. Can't spell this morning. That's over in the Nasdaq, and they were actually we're watching this one because they report earnings this afternoon. I believe it's after the bell. So let's see, volumes very low for in the hour time frame. So we'll continue to watch them. Um, and I guess let's get into looking at the playbook for this week, last couple weeks. A lot of stuff is down, to be honest with you. We have BR Brain Chip Holdings is actually I don't see any pre-market sales on it. Actually, let me see. Yeah, I got regular trading hours on. I don't see any pre-market sales, but or trades, but it is, this is one of my home run plays. Very cheap. Probably something you don't want to bet the farm on, but it is something to look at. Let me see. BRN Brain Chip. Actually, it's not something you can trade on. You have to probably trade that on Interactive Brokers or something like that. But and then we got Citi. Citi put up pretty good numbers for, they're holding the banking up right now. They beat estimates by 30 cents a share and 660 million. That's 3.16% on the revenue. So investors like that. Citigroup CEO Jane Foster revealed plans to ensure a Citi stablecoin to boost digital payments and expand into digital assets, responding to rising client demand for varied financial services. So there's also a bill called the Genius Bill on the Hill right now that originally it did not pass, but it looks, let me see. Let's go back to here. The House will vote on a bill to regulate stablecoin during crypto week, what it could mean for you. So there's a lot of articles on this. You probably want to check some of them out. But I guess originally the bill didn't look good, that it would pass, because a lot of people say it's just like, we're just basically creating another Fed, but just in digital currency. So a lot of people don't like that portion of the bill. But I guess there were some meetings with the people that voted against it. I think there's 10 people that voted against it, and they seem to be changing their minds. So we'll see how that plays out. But and that could be some of the reasoning behind. We don't want to promote Smarter, but that could be some of the reasoning behind why banks didn't do as well as some expected them to do, because of that, that bill not being taken seriously, I guess, by some. So then we get into Astro Labs. Like I said, it's coming off of a big double top here. It's trying to break out of the zone right now, but pre-market it is down a little bit. So we'll stay away from that. We'll watch it. It's flagging, so to speak. We got C3 AI again. Like I said, it's also off a double top. It's broke out of the zone, but momentum is fading, and RSI is kind of in no man's land. There's no implied volatility right now, very low. So those premiums are probably not going to be worth it. Then you have Fastly. Fastly's down pre-market as well. And let me see, check out the news. Fastly is slipping. Can a steady enterprise base hold the stock? So they're not doing too good as well. We'll stay away from them. Fast was one of the only stocks that benefited, or I won't say benefited, but that posted good movement, positive movement after their earnings release. Um, and they're one of a few out of 25 so far companies that have reported this week. Major companies, I guess. And their numbers weren't that good. I mean, they only beat earnings by points, not even a penny, almost a penny, and revenue was only up 6%. So, what's really moving this is is they beat expectation. I guess people didn't really think they were going to do anything, and they seen their price targets change from several firms. J.P. Morgan put it at 41, which they've already surpassed. HSBC 38, Jeffries 45. So this could be a bear trap, to be honest with you. I mean, it's already hit the targets. They may be this may be a prime short. They do have dividends coming out on the 29th. If you're in by the 29th, you're looking at a 22-cent dividend. So maybe it's rising off of that. I don't know, but with them already meeting the change price targets, I'm probably gonna stay away from it. Then you got Bit Digital. Of course they peaked off of the high. They're a mining company. Of course they peaked off of the high crypto prices. And they've cooled off a little bit. So we'll continue to watch them. There may be an opportunity for it to retrace and create a double top here, but and it is up slightly pre-market, but I think I have a long call on that one. Not long, like August 15th, something like that. AVAV, Environment. They are also flat pre-market. They'll join, and they bounce off of joining the S&P Mid Cap 400 Index, replacing Champion X starting Friday. So Victory Capital will replace Aero Environment in the S&P Small Cap 600 Index. So they're moving up, and they moved up off of that news. They're getting a little bit more exposure. So that maybe one to watch. I mean, it's trading at 260. It's got a ceiling here at 295. So maybe it comes back up to that. RCAT. RCAT, if you follow me for a while, it's definitely been one of my plays. I believe it's a drone company. And they have some software like attached to it. It's really a almost like a surveillance company. Like they have these drones that go up in the air, and the technology is it's far beyond any of the other drone companies that just produce the drones. This is like a whole system. It could be implemented in like law enforcement, stuff like that. So they're finally starting to kick off. Down a little bit pre-market, like 6 cents, but this is a definitely a long play. I mean, they're up. Let me see. Look at something here. Over the last year, they're up 461%, and the last 5 years, over 1,000%. So, all time they are down. I believe when they first came out, it probably was, hyped, big hype there. I don't know. They probably had a split of some sort because it says 55,000. Is the all-time high. So it doesn't make sense to me. Maybe there was some type of split somewhere along the lines. I have to do my research on that. Those are astronomical figures. If this was trading at 55 grand, but anyways, so yeah, this is definitely one I'm putting into the portfolio, and probably looking at like a long call at like $20 or something like that, 2 years out or something, because they're gonna be a player. definitely in that in the drone space and surveillance, and this new world that we're going into. Just give me 1 second. We're lagging here a little bit. Yada yada yada. Trying to look at J.P. Morgan. Come on. Okay, J.P. Morgan. Come on, J.P. Morgan. J.P. Morgan's another bank stock. They've already reported they beat numbers. Um, by 75 cents, and profit by a bill, or revenue by a billion. But for some reason the market didn't like that. I think it had a large candle here like yesterday. It got rejected, and at the top and the bottom, and now it's trading on the downside of the VWAP. It's moved back up to the actual VWAP, and maybe it moves to the upside this morning, but right now it's just up a little bit off of the close, like $1. So we'll continue to watch them. SoundHound. They're basically a AI company that specializes in the restaurant business. Taking your orders. I'm not sure if they're behind like Wendy's, but I know, or Domino's. When you call those guys, it's an AI that's taking your order. I'm I don't know if SoundHound is behind that, but it's that type technology. And so I've been seeing a lot of movement on them as far as options. So that may be one to watch here going into the next couple weeks. It is down right now. Then you have INO data flat as well. PNC, man, I was kind of mad about PNC, but they were up almost at 196 pre-market. They've cooled off a little bit this morning, but definitely up from the close. Unusual Machines, another drone company. Why is this lagging so much? Yeah, I gotta figure this out because it's blowing me. Let me see. Output. Anyways, Unusual Machines is flat. I know I don't have that much stuff open, which is concerning me. Anyways, Unusual Machines is flat. FMB is another play that I was looking at. It's a banking stock, finance stock. It's I don't see any trades movement on that one. And then lastly, MOB, another drone stock. It's flat, I believe. No, it's up. It's up pretty big. Pre-market closed at 326. Now it's at pre-market. It's at 358. So, and a lot of implied volatility. So yeah, man, those are the charts and the playbook for the week. Just taking a look at some of the movement there. We'll continue to take a second look at the CPI. Markets, they kind of was up and down yesterday off the CPI released. Kind of had soft core inflation, but that kind of shows signs that the Fed prefers the PCE. So which could still surpass or surprise what we think, and swing things to the upside. And they say that's due to like tariff pass through. Basically, the tariff's going to be passed through to the consumer, or hope actually not to the consumer, but just kind of a pass through charge that companies are maybe going to eat. I don't know. We'll also continue to look at the 30-year yield. It closed above 5%. So option traders, they're betting on a move to 5.3% in the next 5 weeks. And stocks are red this morning. or yesterday. As you can see, there's a lot of red on the charts here. So it's kind of like a mixed, when you take a look at the landscape, it's kind of mixed. You got a mix of everything. You got some good over here, some bad over here, some treacherous, you know what I'm saying? Some pitfalls, all kind of stuff out there. But and a quote from Jane Fraser, the CEO of Citigroup: volatility is going to be a feature, not a bug, and the new world order, and we will benefit from that. So that just basically means protect your neck and make smart bets, because it's treacherous out here in these streets, Wall Streets, that is. So that's my update for today. And if there's a final take, markets are navigating a fog. Like I said, it's murky, man. It's hard to see the future out here. It's hard to get a good gauge of what's going to happen. So you're navigating a fog of tariffs, inflation risk, and geopolitical chess, all while trying to rally on earnings. This is an unusual earnings season. You can't just pick a guy and say it's going to go up. Like I said, only 4 out of the 25 that have reported so far have shown positive movement in their stock price. So keep an eye out on the PPI data, Fed signals, and especially those wild earnings revisions. That's going to be, it's earnings season, so you'll have the earnings, but pay close attention to the revisions. What are they saying is going to happen in the future? Are they going to, if they pull it down, it's going to pull the stock down. If they raise it, it's going to raise the stock. And that's not financial advice. Again, that's just my guess. So the only constant right now, like the quote says, is volatility. You have to find a way to make money in it. So that's my report for today. Make sure you check out those affiliate links. It's a great way to support the channel. A lot of good information in there. Once again, if you've been trading, crypto, and you want to step it up a notch and start trading some futures, with leverage, check out my link for btcc.com below. You get a 10% bonus on your first time deposit. That's arrangement that I have with them. Also, if you want to check out some streaming, trying to get into streaming, check out the Streamlabs link.